We'll try to do a quick recording of how I export my character from Animate to Character Animator, so it will interact with my live capture. So first of all, in Animate, you can decide which frame you want to export. It could be just the first frame. I'm actually going to export the first frame, which is the more neutral expression. But if you have different needs, you want to export a particular frame in the timeline, you can highlight the frame, then it will export the highlighted frames into Illustrator, which is the file that program that we will need to use to export this character. Okay, so in default, if I don't select anything on the timeline, it should be in default exporting the first frame. So I go to File, Export, and choose Export Image Legacy. Okay, Export Image actually don't have the same option. Okay, so in the Export Image Legacy, I can choose the file format to SVG. Okay, we need to export it as SVG to conserve all of our layers. And also make sure before you export it, all the character has different parts in different layer. And please rename your layers. It will make your life much easier on the next step. So you can see the live eyebrow, eyes, hair, face, they're all in separate layer here in Animate. Okay, so if you have everything set up correctly in Animate, you can go to Export Image Legacy and choose SVG file. And I'll call it something little girl. Okay, and hit save. And it should open up this window, Export SVG, and just make sure Optimize for Character Animator is checked. Okay, let's hit OK. So now the SVG should be exported. We have, I've been exporting lots of tests, but this is the one that we just exported. And then we will open this file with Illustrator. Because both Animate and Illustrator, they are vector-based program, so using Illustrator will make the transitions much smoother. And you can see exported as SVG, we have all the layer preserved, exported properly from Animate to Illustrator. Okay, so to be able to let Character Animator read your layer properly, you need to name your character the way they like. So in this case, you can see it has like character, head, and all specific way to name those layers. So instead of naming them by yourself, which might cause potentially some mistake and errors, the easier way is just use the template to get started. So I have the template uploaded on our project folder under Character Animator tutorial. So please download the template mouse and the template blank. Okay. So template blank is also a Illustrator file. I'll just download it. Okay. Here. So the template file looks like this. There's pretty much nothing in there, but it has the layer structure created for you already. Okay, so all we need to do is come to our character that we just exported, the SVG file. I click on the layer, on the very top layer here on this icon, so it will select all the layers I have. Use Command C to copy, or you want, Command C is easier. Command C to copy everything. Go to the template. Okay, and here to make panel, I need to see this. I'll create a new layer and select all the new layer I created and paste my character in the scene. Okay, there's some other stuff here. This is because I have in Animate, I have the mouse, it's like a symbol. The animation is inside of the symbol. So when it exported, it actually it's not really exporting correctly. If that's the case, you just have to modify a little bit in Illustrator. Okay, so in this case, on the mouth layer I have here, the mouth, it just have some like the mask and the teeth, so I can just delete those. So I only have the regular kind of the neutral mouse in the scene. Okay, the character is a little small, so I'll just select it, hold Shift, while you're scaling the character and make it a little bit bigger, fit the page better, and put it in the middle. Okay, so the next step, this is the character we exported from Animate, and these are the blank template that Character Animator will read. So the step is actually pretty easy if you have all the layers named properly so you know what they are. All you need to do is just drag them and then drop it into the correct layer. Make it a little bit longer, bigger so we can see it. So you can see the right eyebrow, this eyebrow here. It's not your right, it's not your right, it's the character's right eyebrow. Okay, so make sure you name it properly. It's the character's right, it's not your right. So I just need to drag the layer I created and drop it under the template. Okay, so pretty simple. Just drag and drop to the according layer. So right eye, left eye, her nose, her hair. We'll talk about hair a little bit later. And face, face is the face background. And the string and the body, those are like all her body. The body will go to the body layer. And the string, I'll put them in the body layer too. Okay. So now you can see the character is all into the character except her hair. So for hair, just need to also put it under head. Okay, so her bang and this little stroke of extra hair, I place it on top of the eyebrow, so it'll be in front of her face. But for her ponytail and the hair tie, those I'll drag and place them behind the face, face background. So just make sure hair should also under the head. Okay, and if you have like other body parts, you can put it under body. Okay, so here's the head and all the layers. Now they're in place. Okay, so just a quick things to add on top of what we go through with the structure. Feel free to like use Illustrator to add in your layer and make it add some more additional elements. For example, this is the one that I created earlier. You can see I added some like shading on her face, and also I add some like extra eye. So instead of the regular eye, there's the right blink. See like a blink. It's actually also in the template layer. So see, if you don't have any like pupil eyeballs separated, you can just create like one single layer. It will still work. But feel free to add additional layer, for example, like blink. So I'll just copy the one I had here. It's the right blink, put it on the right blink. Okay, and I got left blink too, copy that. Okay, and then select my left eye, the blink, come in CV. Okay, and then put it in place. So feel free to add additional layer so it can give your character some more details when you export it into the scene. Okay, and also I have this little blush layer. I'll also use that a little bit. Okay, so I'll just select the blush, copy C. Okay, template, put the blush under her face. For some reason it didn't create a new layer, so I'll put the two shape into one layer, call it blush. Okay, and then select the two shape and put it into the layer. Okay, oops. Put it down into her face. Okay. And some other things I added is I added some like shading and more details on her hair. So I have like some like a highlight her vein on the front, and also I make her hair two parts. So one is like back and front, so I can have some more movement in her hair. And also in Illustrator, feel free to add more like shadow and like shading into your character, because since now it's just like a still image, it's much easier to apply kind of shading to the characters. I'll do one really quickly. For example, I can double click on the face, so it will go into the face layer. Okay, and to add like shading, for example, adding a shading on her like chin, I'll just use the pen tool. Okay, I can simply just create like a shape like this using the pen tool. Okay, and then doesn't really matter. Doesn't need to be perfect. So I just create a shape, and then I'm using this tool called the Shape Builder tool. How it works is simply just select the shape that we created, the base and the additional layer I added, and using the Shape Builder tool, you can see I can either merge by drawing it or holding Option. If I hold Option, I can remove the extra place that I draw. So you can see now it's pink, but I can select it and use the same skin tone but make it a little bit darker. So create a shading, and then I'll lower the opacity. So you can see I just add like a shading of her face, adding some more details very easily. So you can add more shading on your characters, on the hair, on the body, on the face. So again, it's much easier when you don't have to worry about animation in Illustrator. So adding more details much easier. Okay, so last is her mouth. So her mouth right now it's only one layer, but you can see it actually have all different kind of when you talk, the verbal different pronunciation will have different shape of the mouth. You can open the template mouth, which is you can also find it under Basecamp. Under Character Animator tutorial, this template here. So you can open, it also has a PSD file and Illustrator file, use the Illustrator file. And this is how it looks. It has this layer, but inside the layer it has all different shape of mouth. So feel free to use the template if the style works for you. And in this case, for example, you can still change it a little bit. For example, I'm going to change the black stroke and make it more like a brown stroke to fit my color, fit my character a little bit better. So make it a little bit more a brownish stroke. So you can see the stroke now it's brown. So what I did is I used the Magic Wand tool, and then Magic Wand tool will select all the same color. So all the black now is changed to brown. Okay, so I'll select on the mouse layer, same thing, Command C, copy it, make sure all the layers are selected. The shortcut is just turn all the visibility on. You can hold and drag to turn on all the layers, and just click on the little like circle and the edge so all the layers is selected. Go back to where's the blank template, and here we don't have the mouse layer yet, so we will just Command C, paste on all the mouse layer, and adjust the size to make it fit. Okay, yeah, I think the size now looks a little bit better, and yeah, actually I think I'll use the same brush color with the eye. So I'll use the Magic Wand tool again, select the brown. Oh, okay, so those guys selected too, and then I'll just pick that color or pick the color. Okay, so yeah, now it's the same color with the hair. Cool. Okay, now we just need to put the layers at the right place. So select from all the neutral to woohoo, and then drag it into the mouth layer. Okay, cool. So now under mouth we have neutral stuff. Okay, so this one, I'll make this the neutral, like the, and I'll rename this to neutral and delete the original neutral. Okay, so now the neutral will be just that original small open out mouse. Okay, and then we'll remove all those empty ones from the template. Okay, so now things should be set it correctly. We have mouth, all layers is open and all the other stuff. Okay, you don't really have to worry about like turning the visibility on or off. Yeah, you can turn it off, or you can leave it on. After you import it in character, it will actually only showing one layer on their particular layer. Okay, so I think that's pretty much what we need for now for this character. And then what you need to save is just save this file as a regular Illustrator file, an AI file. Okay. Okay, I'll put it on desktop. Name is something different. Little girl. Okay, so hit OK. Now the file is saved. Now let's go to Character Animator. You can see I already have like some stuff set up already. Yours probably don't have anything in the project panel yet. That's okay. So first step, to import your character, you go to File, Import the Illustrator file. Okay, and then Character Animator will actually be recognizing it. And you should see this little, no matter whatever like name you call it, it has this little person icon. This is the puppet tool. Okay, so double click on your puppet. Okay, you can see this is the character we just created. Okay, and when you created a new character, imported in there, you might want to see how it look in your scene. Okay, so you can go to Scene, New Scene. Okay, same. You might. I have already a lot of stuff going on when I was testing the file. So yours probably don't have much, but you should have the character you just imported and a scene file. So when you double click on the character, you can see this is like kind of the control, like all the layers you have and all like detailed things you can change on the side. How about the scene? Okay, the scene is yeah, it's the scene, but now it's empty. So we can drag our little girl and place it into the scene. Okay, her eyes look a little weird. We'll fix that in a little bit. But you can see now your character, your puppet now is in the scene. And in the scene, you can select the scene or like select the little girl because it's floating in the middle. I would like to modify the position so it will stay on the bottom of my scene, and I can also scale a little bit bigger. Okay, yeah, depends on your character. So you can adjust the size of your puppet when you select the puppet in the scene, and you will see the option on the side. Okay, let's go back to our puppet, and there's definitely something we need to change. Okay, first of all is her eyes. Okay, let's open her eye and see what's going on over here. So because I have the blink hidden, or have the blink visible, we actually want the regular eye to be visible. And we can fix that very easily just by opening the visibility of the layer and hide the blink. And her blush, I will also hide the blush for now. Okay, so you can see you can turn on and off like the visibility in your layer here in the character setting. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to the scene. Okay, you can click on the scene. Okay, so now we have our character's eyes showing. Okay, next, now the character is not moving. So you can find the camera and microphone setting. If it's not showing, just make sure the camera and microphone is set it up. And let me turn it on. So I turn on the speaker and my camera. So you can see me, it's over there. And you can see it's actually highlight my face very nicely. You can also reset the pose if it's not captured properly. You can see when I blink, my character blink. When I talk, her mouth talk too. And I can also like move around and she will move along with me. Okay. Of course, the body kind of look weird, so we'll fix that. Cool. Let's go back to our character. So you can see by simply clicking the scene, you can click on the puppet and see on the top or on the side to switch going back to the control or to the preview. Okay, so a couple things we need to do to make our character work as desired. So first of all is her floating body. Okay, that is actually very easy to fix. All you need to do is find her body layer, and we need to add some pins, which is the fix pin. Okay, so this little pin over here. Okay, so you can see when I click the pins on her body, I'll do 3, so it will make sure it stay in place. And you can see it has this tag say fixed. So those on this line along the shape over here on the body should be fixed in the scene now. Okay, you can see it's kind of like you have a little pin on her body. So no matter how I move my character on this, the place I had the pin will stay in place. Okay. What else? What else we can do in the control? Okay, so since we use the template, so everything links pretty well. You can see when you click on the layer on this tag here on the side, will show you that is recognizing that layer as her eyebrow. Okay, so you can see pretty much everything was linked properly. Okay, this part is the jaw. Okay, we don't really have jaw, and if your character don't have nose, it's okay. You can just leave those layers blank. Okay, so hair. How about her hair? So here you can actually add some like dangle. So I'll show you the one I did it previously with the character. Where's the character? Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the one that I tested earlier with a little more layers. So you can see her bang kind of flow, and then also like the ponytail also wiggle. So how can we do that? It's also pretty easy to go to our character control. So instead of now you know the pin tool to make hair, or it can be like a tail or ponytail or like antenna or a mustache, depends on what you have in your character. I also add like the dangle on the character string, so it's a little less kind of cannot really see it with like how I position my character, but I add a little bit of the tangle on her the string, her clothes too. Okay, so it depends on your character. Okay, then I'll show you how to set it up. So first of all, it's the hair. So this is like the simple version. I only have like the little stroke and also like the big full part of her band. I'll just add the dangle on the stroke here. Okay, so to add it, first of all, you need to change the anchor point. So you want to make sure the anchor point is placed as where you want it to rotate. Okay, so if you want something to rotate like this, make sure you put the anchor point here. Okay, and then just use the dangle tool and then place it where is the tip where you want the stroke to be dangling. Okay, so same with the ponytail. Okay, move the anchor point and add a dangle here. Okay, let's test it and see if it works. Spoiler, it won't work. Okay, this is not the right character. I think it's the scene 1. Yeah, this is the correct scene. Was the one we were editing. Okay, you can see her hair stroke is still like solid. It's not really moving. So let's troubleshoot that. Okay, the reason why is it not dangling? It is because on the setup of the layer. Do you guys see this little crown on the top of the layer? Those are the layer that has a plus in the Illustrator layer. What does that mean? It means those layers are like a major layer. So when it's a major layer, it means those layers can move without be affected by other things going on in the scene. What does that actually mean? Okay, for example, the eyebrow should be a major layer, and I'll show you what it will look like without major layer with eyebrow. So it's kind of hard to see actually, but with the without the major eyebrow, I think like if my face distort, it's kind of hard. Actually, didn't show as clear as I thought. Like Without the major, like it means the eyebrow when it move, it will actually you can kind of see like when my eyebrow move, it actually kind of move my bang a little bit, moving the hair too. So without having the major selected, like the movement of particular layer will affect other layer near it. Yeah, I think that you can see the bang kind of move a little bit with the eyebrow. Okay, so very subtle, but let's put the eyebrow back. Go back to the scene. You can see now their major layer. Yeah, you can actually see the difference when I pointed out. The eyebrow when I moved, it didn't interfere with the hair. Okay, so that's what the little crown in front of the layer means. So in this case here, now it's kind of half affected by the layer near it, which is the bang. So that's why it's not moving, it's not like tangling. So here too is the stroke. So let me make this as a major layer so it can move on its own. So same with the ponytail. I'll make it in the major layer. So now it should work. See, like the little stroke now worked pretty clearly. That it has some gravity effect on it, and also the ponytail too. Now it kind of like dangle a little bit. Okay, so if you have hair, make sure you change those layers to major. Okay, so last I want to show you really quickly blush. So I want to use this as an example to show you how to use the trigger. So when your character has a trigger, for example, let me show you, like if you open like example files that Character Animator has. This one has like a full body, so you can like move by using mouse to drag her body. Okay, so you have to like do some rigging over here. And also you can see it has lots of like triggers set out already. So if I click on the button that has a setup, it's in this case it's like pre-recorded animation, so you can record animation in your character. So when you're recording, your character can be like moving at the same time. Okay, or like the red monster also have lots of interesting kind of trigger. So you can make the eye look differently by hitting S, and I hit A, and then now you can see the eyeball look different. And also, what else? It has open. Okay, it's open for, not sure. Oh, it's the mouth. Okay, you can see when I hit O, no matter what I'm saying, it will keep the mouth open. Okay, and then there's other stuff like dance. So again, pre-recorded animation. So you can do lots of things under trigger. Feel free to watch other tutorial to do like more complicated things. I'll just use the blush, something very simple, to show you really quickly how to do it. So if it's just a trigger, trigger means it's kind of like in this case, it's the blush. When the blush is fine existing with other things going on, but for example, if you want to create like different pose for her eyes, and you don't want to have like two eyes showing at the same time, then you need to use the swap set. Okay, so you can have like different swap set of different shape of her eyes or mouth, like that. So here I just use create a trigger, and you can see now the trigger is not defined, so it's orange and says no layer replayed. To apply the trigger, very easy. Simply just drag the layer here, apply it into the trigger. You can actually have multiple layer in one trigger. Okay, I only have one for now. Okay, and then you just type it B. So when I hit B, the trigger will be turned on. Okay, so let's find our little girl, scene for our little girl. Okay, now I hit B, the blush will appear. And then when I remove the B, the blush will disappear. Okay, so you can also turn on latch. So when you have latch turned on, even I click on B, and then it will stay there for until I press B again. Okay, so depends on something. If it only wanted to show really quickly, then you can uncheck the latch. If you wanted to appear for a longer time, you can check the latch on. Okay, so that's the trigger. Okay, last, I'll show you really quickly how to add like a background in your scene. You can actually have multiple character in your scene if desired. You can see now the red monster is behind my the little girl. I don't really want another character in the scene, but I can definitely add another like a background. So you can go to File, Import, and then import like a JPEG or a PNG. It'll all work. Okay, so it will look like a character symbol, but that's okay, doesn't matter. As long as we drag that background into the scene, and it's too small right now. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Scale to X. Okay, not a very high res image, but you guys get an idea. Okay, so now my character has a little bit background. Okay, just a little thing. If you have multiple layer into your timeline, you can see now my character is not moving with me. It's because I'm selecting the background. So make sure you select back on the little girl. So now she's responding to my movement. I think the character is all set. Now we need to export, record our character talking and following with our movement. And if you have trigger, you can do control to it. So how can we record the character? Okay, so first step is you need to switch the control. So this was in the rig control. That's where you see your like the scene and the puppet. Okay, so just simply switch it to the record panel and you can see things change a little bit. And now we have the timeline underneath it and then we have the record button available now. Okay, so to get started, I'll put the playhead to the beginning and let's hit record and give you a countdown. Hello, testing, do some blinking. And if I press the trigger, the blush will appear, and I click on it again, it will disappear. Cool. And done. Okay, by hitting the stop, it will finish the recording. And you can see we have, this is take 3 because I tested 2 times before I recorded this screenshot. So as you can see, you can have multiple take. You can record it again. Another test, this is take 3, and take 4. Well, and you can have multiple take in one in your one panel, and you can see there it's all the lip sync, face, trigger, eye glaze. It has all the recording put together, and also audio in a separate layer. So yeah, you can have multiple take and then you can edit and move around to match what you need. You can even overlay with it. In this case, it doesn't really need that extra take. Okay, so let's play it. Okay, it's okay, yeah. So after you're done recording your character, should be, I forget how much I put it in on the syllable. I think it's like 5 to 10 seconds. So you can just talk like your character talk or sing some song, be creative. I think it's just fun to see your character interacting with your movement. Okay, so to export your video, go to File, Export, and Video File, Adobe Media Encoder. Okay, and select that. So it will open another program called Media Encoder, and call it record, put it on desktop, and use format for MP4. That's cool. And Media Encoder will open, and let's see, this is the one I had earlier. This is the new one. Those are others, random stuff. Okay, so you should have C on the file you have in record. .mp4 is the name I give it to. So for preset, I'll recommend you to choose for YouTube, unless you want to put your video on Vimeo. Okay, I think YouTube is fine. So you can choose on different quality, or if you use YouTube, it will encode your video that will fit the requirement for YouTube. It will actually make the uploading process faster because YouTube don't have to kind of re-encode your video codec again. Okay, so I think 1920, 1080p is fine, and let's hit play. Okay, so give it a minute to render the video, and while waiting. Project 2, part 2. Yeah, your videos is requirements vary. The minimum is 5 seconds. Feel free to do more than 5 seconds, but 5 seconds is the minimum. And the format should be MP4 and YouTube 1080p full HD. And then you can upload your character the rendered video on YouTube. Okay. So yeah, okay. Then just upload your video on Basecamp. Okay, let's see. Our video should be exported, and just curious to see how big it is. Well, it's actually not too big, 10 MB. So if your file is not crazily big, you can actually just upload this video directly on Basecamp. Okay. Yep, looks good. Exactly like what to expected. So on Basecamp, for submitting your project, just go to document and setting, do the character, just upload your video underneath your animation. For example, like this one, you can just add a note here and insert the video here with attachment file. Okay, so that way your the GIF and your video will be in the same post. Okay, so I'll just test it really quickly. Put your name here and use the attach, and then find my character with the video. Okay, so I think it should make the video be able to play on the post. Yeah, so it looks good. So yeah, okay, looks good. So this is how you should import your character from Animate to Character CC. From Animate CC to Character Animator. How to set up the setting in the most basic way, and record it and export it, post it on Basecamp. Okay, have fun. Hope you guys enjoy working on your character.